A man reproduces himself through his child, so when he leave here, he can just smile. But I see fit to stay here a while, maybe buy a timeshare somewhere, rock bumwear, beach chair, write a book each year. You can write yourself out of your blessings. Wreck your Lambo the first stages by driving too reckless. Time is too precious, these some obvious lessons. Please remind me to watch my step while I balance on edges. Ski on the slopes of life, slide down the Ave at night. Watching them graphing graffiti on walls, that's the sight. Cars from Germany, I be pushing the fastest type. Looking at real estate, brother, I need to ask in price. Imagine another rapper making me perspire. I got more styles and more flows, plus I'm much flyer. I got more heights to reach, but I'm already higher. I'm already on to the next thing. Peace and bless, King.
What is going on? What is going on, people? I'm looking at that picture. I'm looking at this picture. Can I don't know. I think I can put it in the background. Probably can. Can I? I don't even know how to work this thing. All right, let me stop. But that picture of Paul when he was younger, that was 2022. And I just saw a picture of him recently with my father. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crazy how fast time goes, man. So enjoy it. And we'll get into that as well later on in the show. First off, guys, welcome to What It Takes. Each and every Monday, I'm giving you real estate information, business information, mindset information. I actually have a question for you today. So stay tuned for that. Housekeeping, Wednesdays. It starts with me, the Tenacity Foundation. Go and check that out. Fridays, Community Beacon, 6:30. Go and check that out. The Male Perspective Podcast Plus, or the Male Perspective actually on YouTube. Go check that out. We're having excellent and honest and truthful conversations, man. So go check out all of those different shows. This is gonna be fast, but I have to do it. All right, let's get into real estate news. Let me add this to the stream. Of course, this is the first week of March. Guys, remember your landlords out here. We need it. We need it. And we appreciate it. And we appreciate it when it's on time. We appreciate when you call us. We appreciate when you deposit it. We definitely do appreciate, when you guys come through on the time, when you all are adhering to the agreements that we have. And if you aren't adhering to the landlord agreements, I don't know, man. You have to have a place to live. And if you don't like it, then leave. All right, let's look what's going on with rents. This was interesting because I had a conversation with someone, a fellow landlord, and she's raising her rents. It's about that time. I think a lot of us were, and I know I was, and a lot of people that I knew were very decent with our rents during the pandemic. For those who were already long-term tenants or came into tenancy, prior to 2020. Now it's 2023. It's back to business. Everything is raised. We talk about inflation. Most of us don't do this for charity. We don't do it for charity. So let's look at what they're saying. January median rent rose. This is nationally 2.4% year over year. I wish they would. I mean, this is the Florida Realtors, right? Give us some more stuff about Florida. The cost of renting an apartment is easing after skyrocketing. It did. Just housing in general skyrocketed. U.S. median rent rose 2.4% in January from a year earlier. So rents went up. Earlier, $1,942, the lowest annual increase since June 2021. Okay, so that's pretty good. The median rent peaked in August at $2,053. Can they tell me what size properties these are? This is like a one-bedroom. And this is interesting because I have some people that came out of town that are looking for a one-bedroom, even in a 55-plus communities. I don't know, guys. Remember Century Village? Remember those communities that were like $800, $800 to $1,000 for a two-bedroom? One bedrooms, $1,400. Remember those homes were going for like 20 grand, 10 to 20, 25,000? Not anymore. Inventory, the fact that rents have been so high, a lot of people are uncertain about the economy and just staying put, not moving around as much. So my thought process is if you're going to stay put for 7 years, 5 to 7 years, you might think about buying something. But nonetheless, Even with rent growing, the sharp increases in recent years have squeezed tenants' budgets. Absolutely. The national average from rent to income ratio reached 30% in the fourth quarter. It should be like 25%. That ratio was the highest it's been in more than 20 years. Households that pay 30% or more of their income are considered cost burdened. I would absolutely agree. The trajectory of rent growth becomes far less uniform when looking at specific metropolitan areas. In the metro in the southeast, rents have kept rising sharply amid a surge, especially now during season. That's really huge. When are you buying? When are you going to go rent? Season in January, July, everybody's moving. Rent goes up. Among the metros where median rents fell the most, Phoenix and Oklahoma City. Notice nothing about Florida because they definitely didn't go down. It's unlikely rents nationally will fall sharply as demand for housing remains strong. And the high mortgage rates that knocked the for-purchase housing market into a skid are forcing many would-be home buyers to continue renting. So it's like a lot of people are stuck in a, what do they call it? In between a rock and a hard place. So what's going to happen? We get back to the warmer months. People are going to start moving again. You're going to see the demand that we lost over the winter time. See, we don't lose demand over the winter time here in Florida, South Florida. It increases. People, if you didn't rent out, especially if you didn't if nobody rented your property between July and October, you might as well just rent it seasonally, right? And you're going to recoup your money. What's going to happen is when we get back into the warm months, people are going to start moving again. I mean, this is, I get sent stuff all the time. I was sent a property over the weekend just in buying. And we're talking about some of the properties that are closer to 95, properties that are closer to the east side. Heck, even on the west side, to be honest with you. We're seeing such a demand for housing down here in Florida. It's incredible. So my thought process was like, what if nothing, like, I don't think it's never going to be the same. Like, it's essentially going to be like what we used to talk about California years back. It's like they've recognized Florida for a place that's not just for retirement. It's an excellent place to come down here, do business, etc. So nothing's going to change, right? Okay, good, Mike, because I had that would have been such an easy transition, but it's not. So here was my question, and this is the question that I have for everybody else before I get off this broadcast. Let me see if I can put this up here. Boom. What if nothing changes? What if nothing changes? And I'm not just talking about real estate. I'm talking about life. I mean, one of the constants is that life is always progressing. But say we had a slight progress, whatever it is, inflation remains the same as what it is. Let's just say everything just remained the same with just a slight adjustment, where you couldn't really notice it. Between 2020 and 2023, you kind of noticed this jump and shift. But what if just life just remained the same? What are you going to do? We tend to have the same conversation with ourselves, and we do this on Community Beacon. We talk about it all the time. Notice these loops that we're having in our lives. You got to notice it. First, you have to become aware of these different loops and see if these loops are serving you. Are these helping you to grow and progress? Or are you staying in the same position? Is it always next year I'm going to buy a house? Next year I'm going to go back to school. Next year I'm going to start my business. Next year I'm going to take that certification to improve my skills within the workplace. Like, it's always next year. And then here we go. The year goes around. A lot of us are in tax time, right? Now you get this big bunch of money. This year, it should be different for some of you guys, right? That's what we say. It's interesting of how we tend to remain. It's easier for us to remain in the same spot because we're so fearful of moving to the next spot. That's what we're talking about on Community Beacon as well. So check that out. But if everything remained the same, what are you going to do about it? Are we still going to complain? Are we still going to wake up upset or depressed, stressed? Right? Like, what are we gonna do? So that's my question for you guys before I head out. I do have this. I'm actually about to be 2 minutes late. I like to know what you guys are gonna think. If you don't want to put it out here, what are you gonna put in the thing? And then we can talk about it. I'll talk about it next week or before that. Who knows? Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys for checking in. Of course, if you need real estate help, 561-412-5433. Text me is probably the best way, but you can always call, you can email, etc. I will see you guys next week. Peace.
A man reproduces himself through his child, so when he leave here, he can just smile. But I see fit to stay here a while, maybe buy a timeshare somewhere, rock bumwear, beach chair, write a book each year. You can write yourself out of your blessings, wreck your Lambo the first stages by driving too reckless. Time is too precious, these some obvious lessons. Please remind me to watch my step while I balance on edge and ski on the slopes of life. Slide down the Ave at night, watching them graphing graffiti on walls, that's the sight. Cars from Germany, I be pushing the fastest type. Looking at real estate, brother, I need the asking price. Imagine another rapper making me perspire. I got more styles and more flows, plus I'm much flyer. I got more heights to reach, but I'm already higher. I'm already on to the next thing. Peace and bless, King.